sing so well?
I would say Ms. Ball is one of my favorite teachers because she's a really kind and caring person. She cares for her students, and like she just expresses her love for us, and she's just there for us.
My favorite teacher is Miss Emily because I like when she reads us books.
Miss Walton. She right there. Yeah, Miss Walton. Cause like anytime like you got something to say or like you feeling down, like you can always just come to.
America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for coming today. We are so glad. My school is the motivation and support our teachers and staff put into every single one of us. At East Hamilton, it is not hard to find someone to support you, someone to provide you with guidance, or someone to help you get involved.
Good afternoon. That is probably my 100th time saying that today. My name is Cameron Conyers. I'm a proud senior at Turner Academy. One of my favorite things about my school is Win Friday. Now you might ask, what is Win Friday? Win Friday is a chance to me. Win Friday is a chance for me to reward myself every 2 weeks after being pressured academically and succeeding academically for those 2 weeks. I reward myself with barbecue, wings, and sometimes ice cream. If you had asked me if I'd be eating food from food trucks at school, I would say absolutely not. Speaking of pushing ourselves, today we deviate from the usual slightly boring format of just hearing our gracious, outstanding superintendent. And instead, we get to see ways that students can keep you all engaged and, most importantly, awake by having our Superintendent Student Leadership Council host today's presentation. Now you might ask, what is Student Leadership Council? Student Leadership Council consists of juniors and seniors from high schools across the district, from Shell Creek in the north to East Ridge in the south. We meet once a month. We debate and create plans to address student issues in the district. But wait, Chloe, I'm confused. What are we doing here?
I'm so glad you asked, Cameron. The reason why we're here today and the purpose of State of the System is to celebrate everyone who keeps Hamilton County Schools running. Our superintendents, teachers, social workers, principal, and many others. While you may not be familiar with what State of the System is, many of you would recognize State of the Union, the annual event in which our president will recap the events, achievements, and improvements of our government. Dr. Robertson and the rest of us on stage tonight hope to share the same ideas with you. We hope you leave here today with more knowledge on Hamilton County Schools, but also more pride in the part you play. Before we start, we would like to include an aspect that we always begin with at our Student Leadership Council meetings, grounding our values, beliefs, and commitments.
On the screen are 4 beliefs our district holds in high regard. One that truly resonates with me today is public education is the foundation of our community. Education touches nearly everything we see. Most of you have experienced or know someone who has experienced a form of public education. This shared experience connects us all. Public education has produced and continues to produce successful students, like me and my peers. It shapes and strengthens our communities every day.
Jumping into our values as a district, I love seeing these because I see them in practice in my school daily. Personally, I connect most with integrity because at East Hamilton, our staff puts our wants and needs at the center. Most students at my school would agree that our teachers want to see us succeed and take a very hands-on approach in our learning. One of my teachers, Dr. Franks, is the Academic Director of Advanced Placement and an AP Research teacher. In part with Mr. Williams, the AP Seminar teacher, they make up the AP Capstone program. Today, I want to thank both of them for getting me into Student Leadership Council at the beginning of this year and for allowing me to have such a great high school experience with the Capstone program and introducing me to college-level writing and research skills. Dr. Franks' services spread wide beyond that. He has helped not only me, but many other students with difficulties of scheduling, finding out what classes will be best for your college career, finding ways to push yourself, and pouring back into the school through events and volunteering. He's a great example of integrity as he shows up for his school and helps students achieve success.
Next, our district's 5 commitments are here on the screen. These commitments guide where we focus our work and investments.
Each of these commitments are necessary for student success.
Finally, our just cause. This is an aspirational goal we work towards each and every day.
The Student Leadership Council is so excited today to be a part of sharing this story of our district over the past year. Before we move on, Cameron and I would like to invite our friend Stephanie to introduce our next speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie Lopez, and I'm a 12th grader at Red Bank High School. If you have ever been to our school in the mornings, you already know our principal is everywhere. Out the doors, in the hallways, anywhere. I'm convinced he has superpowers, or at least a very strong coffee routine. What makes him truly special, though, is that he listens, he cares about student voices. He makes sure we feel heard, even when we are seriously debating very important topics like my cats. He's one of the best principals ever, supportive, dedicated, and always present. Even when we're trying to test that dedication. Please join me in welcoming Principal Tillett to the stage.
I wasn't ready for her to say nice things. No, good afternoon. And Stephanie, I appreciate the introduction. We have our little banter back and forth. And this suit, which I never wear, that's what several of you have acknowledged as you came in. So I don't want to know what you normally think I look like. But this is for Stephanie, 100%. All right, this is for her, and I'll change as soon as this is done. But no, and all, honestly, Stephanie represents the very best of Red Bank. Her leadership, her personality, and just enough confidence to keep me on my toes on a daily basis. So welcome to Red Bank. We're truly honored to host this event this afternoon. We want to thank you all for being here at the State of the System. Opportunities like this allow us to pause and recognize the incredible work happening across Hamilton County Schools. But I want to take a second real quick and just say thank you to Dr. Robertson. I have the very best job. I hope that's visible on a daily basis. I love what we get to do, and I love serving the district that I serve. I'm proud to be part of a system that puts their money where their heart is, and that heart is loving kids well. And we talk about that often here at Red Bank High School. I'd also like to thank Dr. Harwood and the rest of the leadership team just for your support and your vision as we do this work on a daily basis. To my fellow principals, teachers, staff, across the district, the work is not easy, but it's meaningful, and I'm proud that we get to do that alongside each other. And most importantly, I want to recognize our students. They're why we do what we do every day, and I love what we get to do. We hope you enjoy the presentation. And now please join me in welcoming Mayor Weston Watt.
Principal, thank you for introducing me and having me here at your school. It's an honor to be at Red Bank High School. My grandparents were the class of 1956 and 1957 at Red Bank High School. Their American dream started here. My grandmother was the homecoming queen, and my grandfather was the starting quarterback. He was about 5 inches taller than I am. But both of their fathers moved to our community from Nashville for a good job at DuPont. And it's always humbled me to think, given the work to do, that adds up to opportunities for good jobs and the kind of jobs that allow people to stay in a place and raise a family. That's the story of my family that came out of the halls of Red Bank High School. If I think about Hamilton County Schools today, the story that I would tell somebody from another part of the country is that it's a school system of 45,000 students who are led by a school board and a school superintendent who are deeply passionate about lifting up the gifts of each of those 45,000 students. It's 45,000 is big. It's one of the largest school districts in the South. But this school district has gotten so creative, even just in the years that I've been in office, so creative with serving the needs and the goals and desires of every student individually across about 75 campuses. It really feels, as a parent in the school system, like 45,000, about 20 at a time. Our kids aren't one number among 45,000. I've got a fifth grader, River Coleman Watt. He's a little nervous to go to sixth grade, like a lot of fifth graders are right now. He's got his own needs and dreams. Third grade daughter, Griffin Saylor Watt, who is known and loved, and her needs and her challenges and her strengths are lifted up by the school system in a different way. And I've got a first grader, little boy, Aldridge Thomas Watt. That's a story that plays out all across this district. And we've gone to such creative lengths to serve kids well. I find it inspiring in a district this big. I think there's a great example of us trying to do that on the biggest stage in our community, where we'll honor the name of Chattanooga's first Black citywide elected official, John P. Franklin, alongside Dalton Roberts, the first county executive, giving students downtown from a whole host of different schools opportunities to pursue great careers, sets of skills, and eventually entrepreneurship. It'll really be a beacon for what our community believes in, and our belief every kid has gifts. We've got a responsibility as adults to lift them up. It's with that that I'll introduce our next guest, who has served on the school board for the better part of a decade, chaired the school board for the last 3 years. But I would say in the history of our county, in the history of a city school board or a county school board, there's never been a person whose life was more about the pursuit of the hearts and minds of young people than this school board member and this school board chairman. And I know a lot of us are excited about his and Miss America's next chapter of their life, but we're sad that his time in a formal leadership role is coming to an end, because it is a rare thing that a person would hold elected office with a lifetime of service and love at the level that Joe Smith has served our community. And so it's my honor to introduce the Hamilton County School Board Chairman, a Red Bank High School Hall of Famer, Mr. Joe Smith.
The mayor referenced Red Bank High School Hall of Fame. And I find it ironic that my picture is right above your office, Mr. Taylor, right above your office. That's where I spent all my time when I was at school. So it's a good place. Man, what an honor it is to be here at Red Bank High School. And many years ago, I roamed these halls, and I did spend a lot of time in that office. But it's such an honor to be here today to celebrate what is taking place. not just this last year, but previous years. I've been around for 10 years now. It's time to hang up the cleats. But it's been such a joy to be with Dr. Robertson, to be with this team, and it's a special joy to be here today. We've got a lot to celebrate. We had a difficult budget year, but we've navigated that, and we're coming out on the other end. Great things on the horizon. So today, we're going to celebrate. You feel me? You feel me? Let's celebrate. With that, I have the honor of introducing our superintendent, our director of schools, a great person, a great father, a great husband, a great dad, and a great friend. And his leadership in our community and our schools has just been overwhelming. And so today, I'm so honored to give to you Dr. Justin Robertson.
Thank you guys for joining us here today, and I'll be honest with you, we have changed this up. I'm so excited for Student Leadership Council to take a part of this, but Cameron is absolutely right. We're trying to be a little bit more fun than I normally would be. It's okay to say that, Cameron. Before you get started, I want to recognize we've got a number of elected officials here. I saw a city councilman walk in, a number of county commissioners, and some of our school board. I'm not going to call out everyone's name, but I see Ron, County City Councilman, stand up. See 3 county commissioners. I'm not sure if anybody's here. David Sharp, Joe Graham, Steve Highlander, and then school board. Saw Ben Connor walk in on this side. Ben Darty, Gary Keene, Jill Black, Joe Smith. Thank you guys for being here and supporting public education. This is an exciting day, and people are wondering, why are we changing up? We do want to speak directly to our staff. There is a little bit of a reason we're at Red Bank. I was here for 4 years in 2012 when Steve Holmes came to my office at Brown Middle School and told me that I was going to Red Bank High School. I think the first phone call I made to my brother, who's a 90 graduate of Red Bank High School, to tell him, I was like, I'm going to Red Bank. And his response was, to do what? He was here with people like Don Bishop, so I know that he could look at his little brother and be like, how are you going to lead that school? But this was, as Chris said, one of the greatest 4 years of my time leading schools was here at Red Bank, so there is a little bit of selfish piece of being here. We want to thank you for being here. Thank you for our Student Leadership Council, and I'm going to turn it over to you guys to get us started.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Laura Starnes, and I am a junior at Lookout Valley Middle High School. And my favorite thing about Lookout Valley is the community. Even though we are such a small school, we have amazing opportunities. I have amazing relationships with my teachers, with my administrators, Leanne McBriar and Tad Russell, and I have also amazing relationships with my fellow students.
Hey, I'm Naveen Justice. I'm a senior at CCA, which has some of the best teachers I've ever had the privilege to learn under. So let's jump into this. Who here has heard that HCS has officially been named an advancing district by the state of Tennessee for the first time in 5 years? Come on, that's pretty good. Yeah? I do want to say that every single one of you in this room has had a role in that success. I think that's incredibly important to acknowledge.
But yeah, Naveen, what even is advancing district?
Well, it sounds pretty impressive, so I decided to throw that in there, but I'm not really, could you explain it? I'm not really.
Yeah, of course. There's actually a lot that goes into becoming an advancing district. But to keep it simple, it means our district showed improvement in academic growth, chronic absenteeism, graduation rate, and English language proficiency. Basically, students are learning more, showing up more, graduating at higher rates, which is kind of the goal. And all of these areas are used to determine a school district's designation, and HCS has shown real progress across the board.
Okay, sounds pretty good. Now, I remember that. We learned that in Student Leadership Council this year. And we've been working really hard on all of these. And I've seen steady incremental improvement in these areas over the last several years.
And as someone who hopes to become a teacher in Hamilton County one day, this is honestly really exciting to see. It shows that the work being done right now is actually making progress. Next, we have a quick video for you that highlights the HTS approach to learning and what's helped lead to these improvements. And after that, I'm very excited to welcome my mom, Principal Lindsay Starnes from Clifton Hills Elementary, to the stage to talk with Dr. Robertson about what learning and excellence looks like at Clifton Hills. Thank you.
I believe in Hamilton County Schools, we have the best educators, and our accomplishments for incremental proficiency and growth improvements to our advancing district status is a direct reflection of the work that's happening in our classrooms every single day. We built such strong systems and reinforcement mechanisms that are helping us just continue to move forward. Our expectations are really clear about what it means to lead in this county, what it means to teach in this county, what it means to learn in this county. And I think because the expectations are clear and there are strong systems and structures, we're seeing that this district is doing what healthy districts do. We're growing a little bit at a time and moving forward in service of every single one of our kids.
The movement for Tier 1 first, everybody getting access to the same materials. Everybody has the same expectations at the beginning. They get the exposure to that. I think it's helping build some confidence. I pause and I think about my son, who's 2, and him being in a Hamilton County school and having that much thought about his academic success and his teachers having so much training on Warm Commander. It gives me goosebumps because that's what we want, not just for my own child, but for all of the students that when we sit around and we discuss and talk about what they need. The trickle down of the support needed for academic and social success. I feel like we are leading the way in that work. We revived ninth grade success with support from the county. So we track those students, academic, behaviorally, just kind of really wrap around support.
The goal is to provide multiple layers of support for schools. And when I think about flexibility and autonomy, I think about a few things. I know that our teachers are professionals, and they're in the classrooms with our students every single day. So our goal is to make sure that they have access to high quality instructional materials that are aligned to state standards and also meet the rigor that students need. But at the same time, we know that teachers in their interactions and building relationships with students need the flexibility to be able to implement those tools as they see best.
I went to a conference, a math conference last year, and went to kind of get some information about data. And what they were talking about, we were way ahead of them. And so I didn't realize that compared to other districts, we are actually further ahead.
You can always count on curriculum coach, especially Ms. McBride, to help you whenever. Though it's easy to be like, hey, I got a situation, what would you do? She can just pop in and spend 15 minutes and then meet up with her later that day and be like, hey, this is what I saw, this is what they were doing. Maybe do this next time.
HCS is the best place for students to learn because we have this cadre of really committed educators who are willing to see our students as individuals and do everything they can to ensure that every single child is learning. You can see in our classrooms that we are pushing for learning and academic excellence, but it's really rooted in care and belonging. And that's why we're such a unique place to learn, and that's why we're seeing the success we're seeing.
District, you want to look at a district that is both growing, meeting the expectations and growth, and improving proficiency. What we've consistently done over the past several years is improve proficiency and continue to grow.
So we really just started to peel back the layers and really think about like what is causing the chronic absenteeism. And when you talk to parents, when you talk to families, a lot of our families did not have adequate health care. And so just general childhood illnesses like strep throat, ear infections, the flu, they were missing 5 days of school because they did not receive health care or prescriptions. So one of the things that our team really thought about was like, how do we remove the barriers for medical care? And really thinking about school is just not a place to get an education, but how can we really support families? How can we really support the students so that we can take care of basic needs so that they can access a great education? And so with our strategic funds, we pay for a nurse practitioner. So the school system pays for the nurse salary, and we help supplement that. And our chronic absenteeism has continued to decrease year after year after implementing that system. But it's really looking at identifying the problem and peeling back the layers and thinking about like what are opportunities that we can have to help support students and families.
Ms. White, Dr. Starnes invited you here because she talks about academic press and personalization. And one of the pieces of academic press is that we expect rigorous content to be in front of every one of our kids. You're also really good at the personalization. How do you balance those two things in the classroom?
Yeah, so the main thing I think is starting all students with high expectations. So in my classroom, I hold every single one of my students to those high expectations, which starts with our standards and our curriculum so that they are meeting that rigor. But I think the job of a teacher is to fill in those gaps where students have different needs. And so in my classroom, that may look like expecting all students to try first and exposing them to the same material, but then I might pull a small group of students, or I might pair students together because I know one student has a strength and the other has a deficit, and they can help each other. Or that may look like having the flexibility to change my pacing, to slow down, to use an extra day if I notice that my students need more practice, or if I have students who have mastered the content, then giving them an extension of the work. So really using assessment and data to have that flexibility to make personalized decisions for my students, but backing them all in the rigorous standards and curriculum.
Dr. Starnes, you got a big group of people in front of you. What's one thing you want them to know about Clifton Hills?
I think that I would want them to know that we've got great kids. We've got great teachers who are just excellent at what they do. We have a great support team. So the thing at Clifton Hills, I think, is, we have really one of the lowest economically, I guess you would say highest economically disadvantaged in Chattanooga. But our kids, we have really high expectations for them, and we know that they can do it. And we've got teachers, great teachers there that can help do the work. And with district support, we are doing the work together. So we just continue to keep on working.
Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate what you do at Clifton Hills. It's amazing work. Thank you. So I often talk about coherence using an analogy of a freeway. There are guardrails on a freeway. There's a speed limit. There are lines. There are exits. All of those are meant to help people get to their destination safely. When you talk about autonomy, you have the ability to change lanes. You have the ability, some people, to go much faster than they should or much slower than they should. You also have the flexibility to get off at an exit and take a break. And that's what we're pushing for. What allowed us to get to a place where 45 of our schools are showing growth, where 75% of our subject areas are improving in proficiency, and almost 50 of our schools are improving chronic absenteeism, is the coherence with the autonomy. as we think about achievement and growth, what that leads to is graduation. So I want to invite Sophia on stage to talk about the highest graduation rate that we've ever had in Hamilton County Schools.
Thanks, Dr. Robertson. It's great to hear about the intentionality behind learning in Hamilton County schools, from kindergarten all the way through senior year. Hello, my name is Sofia Gonzalez Lima, and I'm a senior at East Hamilton High School. And speaking of senior year, Hamilton County has achieved a 94.2% graduation rate last year, the highest in district's history. However, if you ask me, I think the class of 2026 can make that bigger. As for my own plans after graduation, at this point, I have multiple options, but my top two contenders are Penn State and UTK with a major in material sciences and engineering and an accelerated master's program for both. Now, if you're wondering what even is material sciences, trust me, you aren't alone. Material sciences is an integration of both chemistry and physics. So in college, I would be learning about the characteristics of materials and then trying to improve them with through better performance or through better sustainability. It's also coincidentally, or not so coincidentally, the same field my dad works in. My college advisor called it passion, but I call it learning about polymers at the dinner table since before I could properly talk. Now, taking AP Chemistry and Physics Mechanics at East Hamilton showed me that I loved both disciplines, but it was AP Research with Dr. Franks that made me realize that I wanted to become a researcher. And it's the reason I wanted to choose material science, a constantly developing and evolving science. However, I will say that I haven't always known that I have these opportunities right in front of me. When I first joined this district, I was an ESOL, English Second Language student, and Ms. Tanager at Robertson Elementary was my teacher. At the time, I didn't believe I was going to succeed academically. I thought that I was defined by my accent and my circumstance. Ms. Tanager told us a story about how her children, ESOL kids, were able to make it to Duke. She taught me to believe that I would one day succeed, even when I believed I was predestined to fail. The right teacher at the right time makes all the difference, and it changed my future for the better. Now, supporting students like myself is just one thing that goes into supporting students across the finish line. In fact, Hamilton County has had over 96% of students on track at the end of freshman year, 59% of graduates who are officially career and college ready, and over 2,300 graduates with post-secondary plans. And moving into this next section, I want you to hear from 3 of my peers about their journey in HCS and the support they've received in helping them be ready for life after graduation.
Sophia is clearly exceptional, but she is not the exception. These are the type of kids that we're graduating across Hamilton County. What I want to point out before we talk to these two young men and one young lady, is that we have pathways across this county. We're not a single diploma district. We're not making decisions for kids prior to when they're ready to make them, but we have a ton of options. And so I'm going to turn this over to Layla to give us her story about where she's heading.
I didn't choose that photo. Hello, students, teachers, administration, parents, and siblings alike. My name is Layla Romack, and I am currently a senior at Ottawa High School. I have the honor to stand up here and speak a bit about my time as a student at Ottawa High School and more broadly about my experience within the Hamilton County school system. Truthfully, I was shocked when I found out I'd be addressing such a large crowd of people about something so broad, but I will keep this as short and sweet as possible because I'm not usually a person of many words. Following in that theme, I want to focus on a single word in my remarks, and that word is support. Life so far has taught me at least one important thing, and that's that young people need solid guides to help them flourish and bloom into themselves. I've been so lucky as to have multiple guides that have brought me where I am today, guides I would not have if I had not attended Ottawa. I want to use this time to thank these guides. Firstly, my IEP case manager, Melanie Collins, who inspired me to take the chance on Questbridge, which will allow me to study chemical and biomolecular engineering at Johns Hopkins University in the fall, completely free of charge with a match scholarship. My JRTC instructors, Michael Dupree, Ryan Hardy, and David Fleming, for providing me endless opportunities to come out of my shell and helping me believe that I can be successful through consistent effort by participation on special teams, and the countless other teachers and counselors that have worked with me through high school up to now. My guides have sacrificed their own time to show me that persistence leads to results. This learned persistence allowed me to complete numerous ventures, from radar competition events to Questbridge supplementals, translating perfectly to my eventual successes. I believe that I would not be where I am without the teachers and faculty I met during my time at Ottawa High School, so I will always be grateful for the circumstances that led me to this specific section of Tennessee. I want to close with a task of sorts, and that's to say thank you to the people that support you. You will never lose by being grateful for those around you. With that being said, thank you for having me.
My name is Paxton Hoskins. I'm a student at North River Future Ready Center. I went to Daisy Elementary, Connell Elementary, Loftus Middle School, and Sequoia High School, which is now known as the North River Future Ready Center. My teachers and experiences here at North River have led me down a path that I am so ever grateful for. A teacher that I have to say thank you to one day is Miss Gaither, my math teacher in the 8th grade. She's always really hard on me, and I thought she was making fun of me at one point, my grades. I could never truly see or appreciate what she was doing and why until I got further along in high school. She tried to warn me to focus because it was going to be hard, and I didn't listen. I never did. If I could go back and change it, I would have taken the chance to do better in my classes. If I could see her today, which I have, she's down there, I would say thank you. I would say thank you so much. And I know now that you were doing it to make sure I was a better student and a better person for whenever I was in high school, which led me into my automotive program. I've always loved cars, and the first time I fell in love was in Transformers, Bumblebee. I loved it. Sorry, it's my first time. My love of cars grew into a passion of racing. I'm a huge fan of NASCAR. I've watched it all my life with my dad. A big moment for me was in 2019, the Charlotte Roval playoff race. My favorite driver, Chase Elliott, crashes headfirst into the wall, lap 1. 80 laps later, he came back to win the event. It showed me to never back down and to keep pushing even when you fall. It sparked me to one day want to work inside of a race team. And the automotive program at North River has been my first step to make this dream attainable. Mr. Robert Johnson, my teacher, has been a very positive influence in the learning of my industry. He's taught me the basics of being a mechanic, from front-end suspensions to transmissions to the smallest of a braking bolt. He has impressed upon me the skills required to be successful, such as professionalism, honesty, and integrity. So sorry. While also teaching us the hardships that may one day lead us into this field, and how to overcome them. For instance, time is money. I have to be efficient in this field or else I will never make it. I have to be truthful and honest if I ever even want to have a dream of stepping foot in a real shop. But probably the most vital one is perseverance. He has taught me to keep going even when you fall, even if you're alone. Keep pushing and be proud of yourself. I will take what I've learned from every Hamilton County experience, and I will use it to pursue my dream to one day work inside of a race shop.
Okay, I hope everyone is doing well today. Nice to meet you all. My name is Michaela Brochelle. I'm also a barber. I attended Harrison Elementary School and Brown Middle School, and then I ended up transitioning to Brighton High School, where I currently am now. And I started going here my freshman year. I'm now a senior. Also, I graduate on my birthday, which you know. At this school, Brighton High School, I pursued my potential in barbering. It was actually crazy to me how it started, because I randomly got the opportunity to join the class as I was sitting in my school's auditorium. And from that point on, I started to realize that this was really something that I really wanted to do in my life. See, I've been borrowing in small ways since I was young. I picked up a pair of my dad's clippers when I was younger, about when I was 3 years old, and I shaved off like a small piece of my hair, which it caused me to have like a widow's peak. But y'all can't see it because my lineup, I'm a barber, so I gotta, you feel me? So Burner High School has made me realize my potential actually went beyond what I thought it was. At my school, they offer a cosmetology program, which is one of 7 future-ready pathways that we have at Burner to offer. The cosmetology program allows students like myself to become young cosmetologists or barbers or even entrepreneurs like myself. I think that this is important because not every student has had the opportunity to see themselves pursuing a path in their life, or they haven't really found their potential. Especially one that can help them support themselves financially. Now, I know everybody needs to support themselves financially. Gas prices, they going up about $4. I just seen about $4. It's getting hot outside. It was just snowing the other week. It's 80 degrees outside, but the real world is expensive. The Burner staff have absolutely done a great job helping us all find careers. They really have done that by helping us all see our potential and really acknowledging that we can do something with ourselves. In my journey, I really started to pay attention to my upbringing in these Hamilton County schools, and I realized something. I've had a lot of support from staff members throughout my years, like teachers, administration. Starting in 8th grade, I have my old English teacher, Dr. Gwen. My sophomore year, I have my English teacher, Mrs. Watts. You got all my Brainerd staff administration. You got the track coach, Coach D. You got the student support, Dr. McKenzie. And I also ended up learning something from my principal, Dr. Sorrells. She's also here, so can we get a round of applause for her? Yes. We Brainerd Panthers, we really do appreciate that round of applause. We love the support. Coming to the school, it was problems that she ended up fixing. She definitely did do better. I love the school now. It is an absolutely amazing school. They provided a culture of care within the student body that allows they allow people like myself to try new opportunities like entrepreneurship and other careers that will allow us students at Burner High School to be great when we are pursuing our potential. Burner High School staff members do an amazing job supporting their students. When a student is feeling bad, hypothetically doing the wrong thing, they don't jump to punishments or conclusions, but instead understanding and comfort. And a lot of students really do need that. They're also there to help and reassure us. I plan on going to Austin Peay State University. I'm also still deciding what exactly I want to study, but I am leaning towards computer science and psychology. I know those are 2 very completely different things, but I plan on doing many things in my life. For example, pursuing traveling, and I also want to leave an influence on those younger than me. And lastly, I want to show people that you can do whatever you put your mind to. My time. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I got one more line and we good, but my time at Hamilton County Schools has taught me that it is okay to be patient with your life and also with yourself. Don't rush anything, and your potential is always there. But the most thing is being able to see your own potential and really acknowledging yourself. I'm grateful to all the people along the way who have helped me see the greatness in myself. Thank you all for listening, and have a nice day.
So I'm looking at time, and I know we talked about several questions. I'm going to ask you each one, though, all right? And I'm going to go to the one that I thought was really meaningful. Caleb, you and I were talking earlier today, and you have a why behind where you're going. Talk to us a little bit about, why do you want to go do computer science or psychology? What do you want to give back?
So regarding psychology, that's really my main interest. I want to be able to really, I don't want people to feel what I feel like I felt before, and I really want people to not be like, I want to be there for people, and I want to be able to support people in ways that are needed and that's necessary.
Love it. Paxton, you did this a little bit already. I'm so glad you got to see your teacher, but I know there have been a number of people, not just teachers, but family members that helped you get to where you are, where you're going. Who are those people that you want to thank?
I want to thank my dad for even giving me this dream of wanting to even race in a shot. And I want to thank my stepmom as well. He put her near me in this dream. My mom, Robert Johnson, my sister especially, has been through me thick and thin. But number one, I got to give the glory to God for giving me here.
So, Layla, you're so humble. Tell me again what you're doing.
I'm going to study chemical and biomolecular engineering at Johns Hopkins University in the fall.
Through a what?
Questbridge Match Scholarship.
Which means what?
I don't have to pay them anything.
So, take this however you want, run with it, answer it, whatever you want to say, but that's a long journey and that's a big deal. What helps you prepare the most to be able to go to Johns Hopkins?
I think just building connections with other people and just kind of like putting yourself out there. And since I'm moving so far away, I feel kind of sad that I'm like leaving my best friend, Hannah Brown, who's in the stands right now watching this. I'm leaving her. It's really sad, but I'm really excited to like move forward and not move. Oh, never that. Sorry. I'm excited to meet new people and do new things and just, really put myself out there through an opportunity like that.
Really proud of all three of you. Awesome job. So focus on achievement and growth leads to a higher graduation rate that is really hard to do. And I know there are some of you sitting there, and it's okay, you can disagree with me, but you're wrong, saying that that's not a true graduation rate. It is a true graduation rate. We've been really intentional about investing in ninth grade academies, investing in grad success program, investing in work-based learning for our students with disabilities so that they have a higher graduation rate. Graduating high school matters. It is one of those things that kids can't move forward unless they graduate. And so we shouldn't apologize for going out of our way to make sure that kids graduate. What I think is equally important is to think about what it means long-term, earning potential, health, well-being, all of those things. And I will say this, and this is not new, diplomas aren't the same. Everybody wants to think about a diploma as proficient or you got to score 100. No, they're not the same. We have kids that graduate with different abilities, different opportunities, but it should be one of our highest priorities to make sure that every kid in Hamilton County Schools graduates. So when we go from academic achievement to graduation, how does that happen? You've heard a number of kids say this. The number one way that it happens is because of our great teachers. We've got a little bit of a transition video here, I think. Is it going?
When the moment comes, you'll say,
My name is Weatherly Barker. I'm a junior at Soddy Daisy High School, and my favorite thing about my school is our literacy practicum program. In this program, Impact Fellows, I have the opportunity to tutor first graders at Daisy Elementary every day of the week while getting college credit. This is giving me a head start on my career path and the knowledge of what a teacher truly is.
Hello, my name is Rain Hickson. I am a senior at STEM School Chattanooga, and my favorite thing about my school is that my experience is tailored to me. We are located on the Chat State campus, and as seniors, we are able to roam freely. We also have a lot of one-on-one learning. It's been great learning about the district's accomplishments, especially becoming an advancing district and achieving the highest graduation rate in its history. But let's be honest, achievements like these wouldn't be possible without our incredible teachers. Give yourselves a round of applause for the incredible work every one of you does every day.
In the last year, the district retained 95% of their effective teachers. That's really incredible.
Given the current state of public education across the nation, I don't need to tell everyone in this room how significant that achievement is. Weatherly, since you're interested in becoming a teacher, why do you think this achievement is important?
I think this achievement is important because teachers have a huge impact on student learning. As someone who wants to be a teacher one day, I want to make a difference in students' lives, but I also want to work somewhere that supports my ability to do my best work. In the last year, HCS increased the number of educators participating in growth pathways or sitting in leadership cohorts, improved the ratio of engaged staff to disengaged staff, and maintained an extremely high retention rate of first and second year teachers.
Wow, it sounds like there are so many opportunities available for staff in Hamilton County Schools. This year, we've learned a lot about the district goals of opportunities by design, which is especially meaningful to me because it's what allows me to attend STEM. It's exciting to hear that the district is also working to create these same kind of opportunities for teachers and staff. In the next section, we'll share a video that highlights the district's strategies for supporting and retaining staff. After the video, we'll be joined by 3 staff members from the Howard School to discuss the impact of teacher mentorship.
In order for schools to be successful, you've got to have great teachers, great staff, as well as great leaders. One of our strategies is to invest in employees, professional development growth. What we know is our high-quality teachers, at the end of the day, they're going to eventually want to extend their reach. They want to continue to do great things in the classroom. They want to be teacher leaders. I'm a firm believer that we want to continue to invest in our employees. And if we invest in our employees, they're going to do great things for our kids.
Great leaders are really essential to the success of schools. I don't know of a highly successful school without a highly successful leader. I've had the pleasure of working with Ms. Yarborough from her time as an assistant principal and really seeing her talent and watching her grow over time and knowing that she would be an amazing principal.
Dr. Harper really encouraged me as an assistant principal to take the next step and invest in myself by participating in Principal Lead. I'm not sure I would have done that without her mentorship because of Lead had the opportunity to have 3 experiences with the community superintendent before taking on the principalship. So it's the programming of Lead. It does prepare you. Having the prior relationship and then coming into this role and already having that connection together, that's just a bonus gift.
I really enjoyed this year watching Sarah step into the principalship and thrive in the role. It's just been really rewarding for me to support her in her journey of leadership as a first-year principal.
So the program I'm in is a multi-classroom leader. So I serve as a classroom teacher as well as an instructional coach. I split my day about 50-50 in the classroom and supporting other teachers. I've been given opportunities to lead district PEs and outside responsibilities outside of my school that you wouldn't typically be able to experience as a classroom teacher. But I also felt like I had more to give outside of the classroom, and this has given me the opportunity to pour into teachers just as much as I pour into kids. So I really appreciate that. And then in my program, I'm in the Classified Professionals Academy, and it is for classified employees that are looking to mentor other newer employees. And it's nice because I can learn leadership skills and do mentoring and build my resume while also really helping the newer hires kind of find their footing in the program and in Hamilton County. I have absolutely enjoyed every second in the program. It truly does pour into you, both with professional development and just different growth opportunities. And that feels really nice to have advocates and people rooting for us and to make sure we get what we need and we can help the other employees get what they need to.
I've been working with Michelle long enough to know what does it look like to be a successful math classroom teacher. And I want clarification, I can reach out and we can put it into practice the next day if I need to. in my classroom. I feel really lucky, and I feel like I have this opportunity to make connections with other teachers and with content leads that allows me to do things in my classroom that not everybody may feel the comfort level.
Working in another district and comparing it to working in Hamilton County, I would say that Hamilton County provides the opportunity for teachers to grow. This district provides multiple opportunities for growth in and outside of the classroom. It can be anything you want to right here in Hamilton County.
We're fortunate enough that Hamilton County Schools is just a great organization that we attract great teachers. Teachers are not only great at what they do, but they care about our kids. My hope is when someone asks, hey, what do you work? I want everybody to be able to say Hamilton County School with a smile on their face.
Of retaining teachers, and we praise HR all the time for putting the structures in place to help us do this. The reality is, in my opinion, the reason we're retaining teachers better than most is because we're putting leadership roles in the classroom. I think one great example of this, like to ask Chandler to come on the stage with me with Cassidy and Griffin, is the example that we have at Howard. Chandler is a sixth-year teacher. I met her a few years ago in her third year when she was named Teacher of the Year. She has a ton of potential. What she has chosen to do is stay in the classroom and mentor other teachers like Cassidy and like Griffin. Chandler, thank you for what you do. You're a huge part of why we're retaining 95% of our effective teachers and 90% of our first and second year teachers. Talk to us a little bit about what your role is and what you believe mentoring should look like.
So a little bit about me, how I got into education. I didn't ever think that I was going to be a teacher. I loved all my teachers in high school. It's just not what I saw for myself. And then I have to shout out Project Inspire. I saw Dr. Schalliner earlier. I'm a Project Inspire alum, proud of it, cohort 9, because I did not, yes, give it up for that. Because I didn't think that teaching was going to be my career path when I was in high school. When I started to entertain the idea as I was like preparing to graduate from Swanee, I knew Project Inspire would be good for me because I was going to spend a year with a seasoned teacher. Shout out to Keontae Graham. He was my mentor teacher when I was in Project Inspire. And I just needed that time with somebody who could like put in hours into the classroom and had a passion for kids to be able to like turn my raw abilities into something tangible. And now it's really cool to get to talk about mentorship and the importance of it from this side, being for them who Mr. Graham was for me 6 years ago when I was in residency. Teaching is hard. Teaching is really hard, and even after having a year of residency, I still needed support at Howard. So people like Ms. Farr, people like Ms. Neal, people like Dr. Ware, who continue to pour into me. They weren't like, oh, you did a year of residency, you're fine. And I really appreciate that Hamilton County has this very tiered approach to supporting teachers in their first through third year, and even after that if teachers need it. But there's nobody who's ever been a teacher that will tell you that they felt like they mastered it at any point in their career. And I think it's so critical that we can continue to provide wraparound supports for teachers at all stages of their career, particularly in that first through third, because if it's not one thing, it's something else. So you kind of always have to have people around you to pour into you and to tell you, like, on your hard days, you got this.
Cassidy, you're coming to the end of your first year, right? So you're, let me just tell you, your final stretch, it'll get there. But oftentimes we throw first year teachers in and we say, oh, this is your mentor, but there aren't structures, right? There's not a system. What is it meant for you as a first year teacher to have someone like Chandler that is an expert that can really lean into you?
So having somebody like Miss Brooks Davis, I'm not from Chattanooga. I came from a high school that had 400 people in it, 7 through 12. I had 60 people in my high school class. And so being thrown into Howard, where it is a huge, huge school, I didn't know the culture or the climate or anything. And she really helped me show, like she showed me the way how to do what I need to do in the best way possible and how to build relationships with students and just how to be the best teacher that I can for them, but also for me as well.
So Griffin coming end of your student teaching experience, what has it been like to be part of this family tree of mentoring?
Actually amazing, because everything that I'm too scared to ask Brooks Davis about, I can go to Miss Simmons right here, who's right across from hall from me, and then she tells me, Griffin, quit being silly, just go ask Miss Brooks Davis. And every time I do, she's got a perfect answer. Like classroom management, one of my hardest things was just getting them to actually sit down and listen to me. And so she was like, Griffin, we'll go build a relationship. And that's what I went and did. And now after we do the clap once you can hear my voice, it's done. They listen. So the best thing I think Brooks Davis could teach me and did teach me is that just building relationships with students and the parents and other teachers, it goes a long way.
We were sitting talking at lunch, and we were talking about community involvement, engagement. What would you say, you've got a chance for many people that aren't educators, what would you say to them? What do you need as an educator from this community?
So, funds, first and foremost. Teachers are known for making, clap for that. Teachers can do a lot with a little bit. It's not explicitly in our job description. Just because we can do it does not mean that we should have to. So, funds. For the people who don't control the funds, we need support. One of the hardest things that any teacher will tell you about their job is that we can work our tails off from 7 to 2, 8 to 3, 9 to 4. But if the lessons, the non-academic lessons that we teach our kids are undone when they go home, if they don't have the support to just be kids in their neighborhoods, if they're worried about where they're gonna lay their head, if they're worried about their safety over breaks, it's hard to say that, hey, my world history content outweighs everything you're going through at home. So to make our job easier, to allow us to just focus on teaching and preparing our kids to be ready graduates, and to continue to support this 94% graduation rate, to keep our chronic absenteeism low, we need support from our community stakeholders to ensure that our kids get to be kids both in and out of school.
Yeah. It's really well said. I think that it hits the nail on the head. Before let you guys go, Griffin, thank you for being part of Hamilton County Schools. Cassie, thank you for the work that you've done there. One way that we want to make sure that we continue to have fill rates where we are is make sure that we're grabbing good educators. So Dr. Brown, if you raise your hand, see Dr. Brown right there. You need to see him before you leave. We have an intent to hire that we're hoping that you'll sign, so you'll stay with Hamilton County. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you. So obviously the system is in place to mentor and continue to develop teachers, especially in the classroom. We believe that putting wraparound supports around teachers and kids is important. I think you also heard it from Chandler. There's an elephant in the room around compensation. We've worked really hard, and our board is here to push us to make sure that we are putting that as priority one. And I'm happy to tell you that the administration, the board, even through the community survey, everybody agrees that compensation should be our number one priority going into this budget, and we are setting aside $14 million to make sure that we're improving compensation for our employees going into next year. On top of that, we do know that that's not sustainable. We are at a place with our budget that's not sustainable to move forward. Chandler's right. We do need more resources. That's why you've seen me. That's why you've seen our board members in Nashville pushing our legislators at the state level, working alongside our local government to make sure that we have those resources that we need as we move forward. So I know that we're running on time, but we want to move into this next section, and this is student belonging. This is one of our most important commitments, and this is something that I think about oftentimes. People, when you think about achievement, when you think about grad rate, when you think about retaining effective teachers, you'll hear people say, well, that's what schools are supposed to do, right? You are supposed to teach kids. You are supposed to graduate kids. You should make sure that you've got excellent teachers. And then sometimes when you talk about the well-being of kids, you'll hear people say things like, That's not your job. The two go hand in hand. If we're not taking care of the well-being of kids, if we're not making sure that we're supporting them as the whole child, it's going to be very difficult for them to learn. And so when we think about student well-being, this is still one of our most foundational commitments and one that we are going to continue to push on. Got a couple of students that go ahead and invite up here that are pretty incredible kids that want to talk to about what their journey is. Lucy, who is at CCA, and Trey, who is here at Red Bank High School. So Lucy, you're at CCA, Creative Arts School. You're in orchestra. And I know we've talked about the connections that's created for you. Tell us about CCA and what it's meant for you as a student.
For me, CCA has kind of been an automatic community. The arts themselves are so collaborative that you kind of can't go to an art school without knowing people and having this community around you that's supportive. And that not only makes me feel safe physically, but also safe to be myself and safe to pursue what I want to pursue.
Trey, I think you love Red Bank, and I've heard you talk about teachers and people here. Yes, love it. Talk to us a little bit about what the family at Red Bank has meant to you.
Before I start talking about myself, I want to first talk about CCA. I have a cousin who goes there, and she's just become such a joy and bright since she's got there, and she's become so much smilier and happier since she got there, and she's growing. I'm happy for that. And so now I'm going to talk about myself. Okay, so for the first 3 years of my high school career, I lived in the hotel, and my teachers and my counselors helped me so I could grow and not give up on myself. So I just love Red Bank because they never let me give up on myself.
So you're in orchestra, but what's neat about that story is long term. I don't think you want to be a musician, right? No, you and me both. We're musically uninclined. You're not, but I am. What do you want to do, and how has CCA helped you actually go towards that goal?
I really want to go into medicine, specifically pediatrics. And CCA has taught me how to collaborate with my peers, which is something that is very important in medicine. I also have our Dean of Students helped me, Ms. Scott. She helped me start a medical club where I'm able to share my interests and bring in speakers and kind of talk with kids who are as interested in medicine as I am, kind of build this medical community inside an art school.
Dre, one thing Red Bank has done is created these opportunities in half-day settings for you guys to go out and do some pretty neat projects. You talked a lot about the connections that creates for you. Tell us a little bit about those and why they're meaningful.
So at Red Bank, we have a senior thing where, as a senior, if you're on track to graduate and you have basically most of your credits to get your diploma and everything, you can come either at the beginning of the day and leave halfway through, so you can go do your jobs or anything that you need to do, so you can get college recommendations and stuff like that, or you can come later because for the people who don't like to get up. I'm not one of those people, as you can tell. but that's what it is, and we're able to do so much more since we're able to do that because of our wonderful Principal Tillett.
So go a little bit off script and just one short answer. Connections we talk about all the time as administration, as teachers, as principals. What does connection mean to you as a high school kid? Your connection with CCA, with the adults, with the kids. What does that actually mean?
To me, connection is feeling safe with the people you're around and being able to look at someone. And even though I may not hang out with them at lunch, even though I only say a few sentences to them, I'm able to start up a conversation and just be completely comfortable in who I am and where I'm at.
Trey, what about you?
Okay, so connection means to me that I'm able to
not just be with people I'm comfortable with, but I'm able to connect with like people younger than me, people older than me. So I'm able to like foster a community with everybody, not just people I know.
Great. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate y'all both. So when we think about the things that connect students in high school, whether it's athletics, whether it's art programs, it is a commitment that we have as a district that we are going to continue to push forward. We know that we have a number of kids that may be dealing with housing instability, food insecurity, that need more support. We know that we have immigrant students in our Latinos families that may not feel as welcome today as they once did. We're committed to continuing to create safe and welcoming environments for our kids and for our families. So I'm going to go a little bit off script. I've got a prop. I was trying to think about this. How many of you watch March Madness? Been watching March Madness. I've been trying to figure out, like, how does this connect to student belonging? And Chris Hill at Red Bank do a great job of doing this. And there was a story in the paper a couple weeks ago, and it hit me 2 days ago. I was like, that's it. Nick Fike, who's unfortunately not here, has been a basketball coach since I think 2014 or something like that. Over the last 4 years has won 96 games. That's incredible. If you listen to the way his kids talk about him, it has nothing to do with basketball. It has all to do with connections. Got a good friend, Will Davis. Where's Will? I can't see. Is Will still here? He was here earlier. He probably left. Will Davis was a senior when Nick Fike made this shirt, this shooting shirt. I had to dig through the drawers to find it. What does it say? Make them believe. And I think that's what student belonging is teachers, principals, support coaches, social workers, counselors, making kids believe, making them believe that they can go on to do bigger things, that they can be a Questbridge scholar, that they can go work on a NASCAR team, that they can go be an entrepreneur and start their own electrician's business. It's making them believe in the potential that they have as a kid to move forward. And one thing that I'm so proud of Hamilton County is with this commitment, I think we do this better than anyone. I've been to multiple districts across the state and across this country. And this is what separates us from other districts. Yes, we do the academics well. Yes, we graduate kids. Yes, we retain great teachers. But more than anything, we create environments where kids feel safe, where they feel connected, and where they know that there are adults in our buildings that believe in them and will champion what they want to become. That is something that's incredible, and something that I want to thank you personally as a teacher, as an assistant, as a secretary, as a support coach. Thank you for believing in our kids. So we're going to end it. I'm going to turn this over to our two school board representatives, student school board representatives, Ryan and Star, who you'll see it. They're both amazing, have done an amazing job this year. I'm so proud of what they've done.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Jenkins, and I'm a senior at Sally Daisy High School.
Hi, everyone. My name is Star Saeed, and I'm a senior at Udowa High School. We have served 2 years on the Superintendent Student Leadership Council, and for the 2025-2026 school year, we were elected by our peers to serve as student members on the school board.
I really enjoyed my time at Sally Daisy High School and just as a Hamilton County Schools student in general. One thing I truly appreciate about Sally Daisy High School is that under the leadership of Miss Cass is the strong community mindset that we've embraced as a school. Miss Cass leads with intention, emphasizing students, staff, and families, and constantly creating an environment that students feel valued and connected. Because of that leadership, we foster a strong, positive climate and culture rooted in community every single day.
One thing I love about Udowa High School is our outstanding principal, Mr. Donnie Mullins. He has made a meaningful impact on the overall environment of our school, helping to create a more positive, supportive, and engaging atmosphere for everyone. His dedication and leadership are evident in the countless improvements we've seen, and it's clear that he genuinely cares about
the success and well-being of everyone at Ooltewah. Mr. Mullins has put in an incredible amount of effort to make a lasting difference in our school community.
We want to say thank you to everyone who came out to today's State of the System. Additionally, we appreciate the opportunity of allowing students to take an active role in the presentation. This is a testament to Dr. Robertson's leadership and willingness to listen and collaborate with students from all across the county.
I agree with Ryan. As a student, I truly appreciate Dr. Robertson and his leadership team. His willingness to answer all of our tough questions at our SLC meetings, some of which have felt like rapid-fire interview questions, has been especially meaningful. To see what we've worked on this year with the Superintendent's Leadership Council, we'd love to invite each of you to attend the school board meeting on April 14th at 4:30 to hear our presentation on the projects we worked on this past school year.
Thank you again to everyone who joined us to celebrate this afternoon, and as well as everyone who helped make these accomplishments possible. With that said, we'll turn it back over to Dr. Robertson.
I want to start by telling our Student Leadership Council, you guys did an amazing job. They were here a lot of the day preparing for this. And again, I think it's important to know, like these guys are exceptional, but they're not the exception. We've got kids across Hamilton County that are just like them, that are doing great things every day. We started with our beliefs and talking about public education as the foundation of our community. I deeply believe this. For us to move forward as a community, our public school system has to be strong. That means that we need support. We've already talked about financial support, but it goes beyond that. Even from our elected officials, we need policy, we need legislation that supports public education. We also need them making public comments that support our school system and openly advocating for our school system. We also need you and us to be willing to speak boldly about what it is that our kids need to be successful, to make sure that they feel a sense of belonging, to make sure that they have the academic opportunities, whether they be going into college, career, the military, or any other path. We're creating those opportunities intentionally so that they can be safe and so that they can be successful. As we leave out of here, I want to again thank you. I hope that you've seen a clear line of what we've done from an academic standpoint to graduation rate, to effective teachers, and to student belonging. And that line, I hope that you are proud of it. It's not something that happens from my office. It's something that happens in the classroom every day. And your part in that should not go unnoticed. And I want to thank you publicly for what you've done to make sure our kids are successful in the classroom, to make sure that they're successful in graduation, and as they move beyond. What we want you to be proud of is that work, and also to be proud of the work that the system is doing. We want you to feel bold in coming out and speaking in support of Hamilton County Schools. There was a stat that was up there that I didn't point out, and I can't avoid it now. But it said 90% of our families are satisfied or highly satisfied with their school experience. That's a number that's used across the state for other reasons, to point out the success of other programs. And it's the exact same number, 90%. 90% of our families do believe in their schools. Sometimes they don't trust me, sometimes they don't trust the school board or the system, but they do trust you. And when they hear you talking in a grocery store, when they see what you're putting on social media, they take that as truth. And I encourage you to uplift the good work that you are doing, that your colleagues are doing to support students in Hamilton County. We have a lot to be proud of. We have a lot more work to do. I thank you for your partnership in this. Thank you for being here today, and I hope you have a good rest of your evening.
Why you have to take a picture, Mom?
This is crazy.
Why you have to take a picture, Mom? You have to take a picture, Mom.